You're watching RTV6 Indianapolis. Now, the RTV6 Nightcast.
A lone bagpipe plays Amazing Grace, and the sun sets over the Pacific as the body of President Ronald Reagan reaches a final resting place tonight. Good evening, and thanks for joining us on the Nightcast. I'm Ray Cortopassi. The burial in Simi Valley, California caps a week-long tribute to President Ronald Reagan that stretched from coast to coast. ABC's Carla Wall is in California tonight with the conclusion of this emotional week.
We have come from sea to shining sea, to this soil which he loved so much, and where his body will remain.
In a setting that Hollywood could not have improved on, with a light golden and soft, President Reagan's children spoke about the man they knew as Dad.
We look forward to those Saturday mornings when he would pick us up, sitting on the curb on Beverly Glen as his car would turn the corner from Sunset Boulevard, and we would get in and ride to the ranch and play games, and he would always make sure it ended up a tie.
Patty Davis said her father never feared death.
I don't know why Alzheimer's was allowed to steal so much of my father, sorry, before releasing him into the arms of death. But I know that at his last moment, when he opened his eyes that had not opened for many, many days, and looked at my mother, he showed us that neither disease nor death can conquer love.
And Ron told stories about his father's famous sense of humor, about a time they were traveling in the limousine as the president gave his famous thumbs up sign.
And suddenly, looming in the window on his side of the car was this snarling face. This fellow was reviving an entirely different hand gesture and hoisted an entirely different digit in our direction. Dad saw this and, without missing a beat, turned to us and said, "You see, I think it's catching on."
And then the president was carried to his final resting place.
And some of the most touching moments there came today when Nancy Reagan bid a final farewell to her husband at his casket, surrounded by her children. It was a very private moment that was shared with several million TV viewers. RTV6 anchor Christy Tedesco sat down with another woman who shared private moments of grief with the public, Indiana's former First Lady Judy O'Bannon.
When it's a sudden thing, there's more of a shock. All of a sudden you say, oh, wait a minute, someone took half me away, and did I fail to realize that? So you don't have that, but you don't go through that sickness. Ooh, that takes some bravery.
Still emotional from the death of her own husband, Judy O'Bannon today admires Nancy Reagan for her bravery with Alzheimer's. Mrs. O'Bannon gained strength from the old church where she and her late husband would worship, a retreat from the curious public, a public she says will forever be interested in a First Lady left behind.
People who have experienced themselves are looking to her to see, what does she do? What does she do? They want to tell you that they are with you spiritually and emotionally at that time, because you're part of their community. And they express that, in our case, in those memory books.
32 books that Hoosiers spilled their hearts into. Judy O'Bannon believes the memorial to Governor O'Bannon was really a platform for the people, and the First Lady, in her grieving, a symbol.
Public service is a family commitment. And Nancy Reagan was part of that team. And I think she's reinforcing that in what she does today, and I think that's a powerful message.
Mrs. O'Bannon wants to plant herself back in Indianapolis, so she went house hunting today, downtown, not far from the church. For this former First Lady, today is about more than just remembering. It's about connecting.
Everyone who's watching today has lost a loved one, and they identify with that. We are connected because of our commonality and humanness. And what the Reagans are going through, what we're going through as a nation now, is as commonly shared as anything they have.
And many Hoosiers marked this National Day of Mourning with a visit to the State House. Photographs of President Reagan documented the president's visits to the Hoosier state. The pictures were on display in the South Atrium. Governor Kernan and his wife were among the many Hoosiers who visited that display. And earlier today at the state convention for veterans of foreign wars, Governor Kernan called for a moment of silence to honor the president, the silence coinciding with funeral services in Washington, D.C. And now, tonight, we have to talk about the weather. As she always is, Mother Nature has been selectively destructive in central Indiana. Tonight, Hamilton and Tippecanoe counties are bailing out from floodwaters. We'll start in Fishers, where the Nightcast Jennifer Carmack joins us live now with the latest. Jennifer.
Ray, as you know, the growth here in Fishers has exploded in the past few years, but that's not making everyone happy. In fact, some residents say it's causing big problems every time it rains. The intense, relentless rains from last night and this morning left dozens of streets flooded across Hamilton County. In Fishers, ditches and creeks, some swollen, some spilling into yards and neighborhoods.
I don't want a lakefront. I want a golf course lot.
At this time, we're experiencing flooding 360 degrees around our house.
For Brian and Michelle Sebesna and the other 4 homeowners that live along this stretch of Cumberland Road, just the sighting of a rain cloud spells trouble.
In the last year, I think we've seen problems like this 2 or 3 times, and they do actually have to close the road at times.
The Sebesnas claim their problem started when the Walnut Creek development was constructed. Now, they believe that all these additional homes created more water runoff than this area is capable of handling.
We've requested Public Works Department members to take a look, and we've requested the Drainage Commission members to take a look, and we really haven't truthfully gotten a lot of response.
Where you see this gurgling is the pipe for the sump pump right here.
But Cheryl Murray lives at the end of the street. Her yard and basement floods on a regular basis.
All that new construction bothers me because what's up there flows down here.
The flooding has cost her over $5,000 in the past few years. It's cost Brian and Michelle over $60,000, $7,000 on pumps and plumbing alone. They've even had to drill a hole in their wall to try to keep their basement dry tonight.
It's just kind of an impossible situation.
The problem has become so severe that one family here is in the process of filing suit against the town of Fishers. Other residents tell me they're considering moving because of the flooding. In Fishers, on the Nightcast, Jennifer Carmack, RTV6.
Big mess, Jennifer, thanks. And the rising floodwaters also affected about a dozen families in Lafayette. Those who live along Burnett's Creek are accustomed to high waters, but folks who live there say they haven't seen flooding this bad in some 10 years. Terry Yoder was among those evacuated from his home. He is most worried about his dogs, Blackie and Seeger. Well, tonight, many of his possessions are underwater.
My mower's in the garage. I got an old pickup that's sitting there getting pretty well underwater. And, yeah, a couple chainsaws and things like that, but it's one of those things. I always say God willing and the creek don't rise. Well, this time he must not have been willing.
And a nearby restaurant had to be evacuated this afternoon after water started flooding cars in the parking lot there. Now, more flood warnings are in effect tonight for several Indiana counties. Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory in the tracking center with more tonight. Kevin?
And unfortunately, Ray, it does look like we will aggravate the flooding situation, especially in north-central portions of the state, and I would include Hamilton County in that. Let me show you quickly DOPRED 6000. Notice it zoomed to northwest Indiana. The reason for that, that's where I think thunderstorms will make their return first, from around Lafayette to Rensselaer. If we broaden our view, you can see central Indiana is dry for now. Here's the problem. The rain from Kokomo to Lafayette has been anywhere from 4.5 to 5 inches, in some isolated cases more than that. That's created flooding along Wildcat Creek at Lafayette. Wildcat Creek is 7 feet above flood stage and may still rise another 3 feet. So the flood warnings are out from Kokomo to Lafayette along the Wildcat Creek, and then you follow the Wabash from Lafayette on down south of Terre Haute. Lowland flooding continues there. The potential is there for another 1 to 2 inches of rain overnight into tomorrow. We'll show you where that's coming from, talk about whether we have severe weather potential in the form of any damaging winds in just a little bit, and look at the complete weather forecast. There's something to smile about in there, and I'll find it for you coming up, Ray.
All right, good to hear. Thanks, Kevin. Now, as some Hoosiers look for higher ground tonight, others are rebuilding and in some cases still cleaning up after last month's tornadoes. As of this morning, the Federal Emergency Management Agency said it distributed $622,000 to more than 1,100 families from the May 30th storms. The Small Business Administration has distributed another $373,000. Disaster assistance centers are set up in Crawford, Marion, and Miami counties. Well, the long, drawn-out recount of the Republican primary in State Senate District 36 is over tonight, and the winner is newcomer Brett Walz. He defeated longtime Senator Larry Borst of Greenwood by 53 votes. Borst threw in the towel today after the State Recount Commission refused his request for a special election. Borst's attorney said a special vote was needed because a ballot shortage denied many people the right to vote. But Walz's lawyers said that there are many reasons people often don't vote or can't vote and don't require special elections.
Sometimes inspectors don't show up at the polls on time. Sometimes the janitor's not available to open the door. Sometimes a storm comes through and knocks out the power. People show up at the polls and can't vote.
Walz says it was a fair election, if not a perfect one. Care and treatment of animals is their livelihood, but how they treated their own animals landed one couple in trouble with 2 government agencies. Health inspectors ordered the couple to vacate their Indianapolis home, calling it unfit for man or beast. Animal control officers also seized the couple's 27 dogs, including 6 puppies. Investigators found feces, urine, and dog hair matted to the floors of the home.
A lot of dogs running loose throughout the house, plus there's a lot of dogs in cages. The cages were full of feces and mud. A very deplorable condition, even for humans to be living into, and also animals.
The couple, who apparently didn't clean up after their own pack of dogs, ironically run a dog grooming business on the southeast side. They were cited with 73 ordinance violations for care and treatment of animals and for failing to get rabies vaccinations and tags. New on the Nightcast tonight, Oklahoma City bombing conspirator Terry Nichols has been spared the death penalty. Jurors in McAllister, Oklahoma deadlocked in the penalty phase of his state murder trial. That means Nichols will be sentenced by the judge, who's required by law to give him a life sentence. Nichols was convicted last month of 161 counts of first-degree murder in the 1995 bombing. Timothy McVeigh was executed in Terre Haute 3 years ago today. Scientists working to develop an anthrax vaccine may now be victims of a deadly contamination. 6 researchers at a California hospital were exposed to live anthrax bacteria. They injected what they thought was a dead bacteria into mice for testing, but it turns out they got a delivery of live anthrax. Researchers figured out what the mix was, and then the lab mice died. When they died, rather, the lab workers are now on antibiotics. So far, none of them show any signs of anthrax. Work is on hold while the FBI investigates the source of that live bacteria. Republican Senator John McCain is again refuting rumors that he will run with Democratic presidential candidate John Kerry. McCain's repeatedly told the media that he won't cross party lines, but that apparently hasn't stopped Kerry from asking. Sources in the Democratic Party say Kerry approached McCain about the VP position as recently as late last month. Senator Kerry will officially accept his nomination for the president at the Democratic Convention next month. Construction work is now underway at Boston's Fleet Center, the sports arena where the convention will be held. Work was held up, though, by protesting police officers who blocked construction crews for several days. Indiana's Democratic Convention is here in the Circle City tomorrow. Democrats will endorse 2 new additions to November's ballot. They'll name State Party Chairman Joe Hogsett as their candidate for Attorney General, and former Indianapolis City County Councilwoman Susan Williams as the nominee for Superintendent of Public Instruction. RTV6 will have complete coverage of the convention starting tomorrow on the weekend news at 6 o'clock. A crash on Interstate 65 ties up inbound traffic for hours. You'll find out what happened coming up next. Plus, if you think you've seen it all at the Children's Museum, just take a look at this. We'll show you the exhibit that you can't see anywhere else in the world. And Arizona could use a little of our wet weather tonight. Wildfires rage over the southwest. That is new on the Nightcast next.
Up-to-the-minute weather technology only works if you get the info when you need it. But what if your power goes out and the TV goes black? See this generator? It's big, powerful, and ready to go. So if your power's out, our TV still works on your radio. On TV, online, on the radio. Storm Team 6. We're there for you.
Your first look at today's top stories. First at 5, Monday on RTV6.
Never before, never again. Up to $4,500 cash on F-150. The biggest Ford truck inventory of the year. With up to $4,500 cash or 0% APR for up to 60 months. That's up to $4,500 cash on a built Ford tough F-150. Never before has the deal been this strong. Never again will the selection be this huge. But hurry, it all ends June 30th, only at your Indiana Ford store.
So what's cooking at Ponderosa? Those ribs look so good. But the buffet looks good too. Why rack your brain when you can get both? At Ponderosa, you can get our tangy, slow-cooked baby back ribs and our delicious all-you-can-eat buffet, both for one great price. Where else can you get an awesome buffet plus baby back ribs starting at just $9.99? Only at Ponderosa.
Ray Cortopassi Discount Hyundai, Indy's newest Hyundai dealer.
Half a mile north of the Greenwood Park Mall. At Ray Cortopassi, own a new Hyundai Elantra for as low as $155 per month.
Listen to the news in your car. RTV6 on the radio. We're there for you.
Toyota's summer tent event is here, and now's the time for great truck savings.
Big savings would be nice.
Then hurry to this big tent event and save on Tundra. Now with 0 financing for 36 months or 1,000 customer cash.
Tundra, that's my favorite.
Probably why this awesome full-size truck was named Best Overall Value of the Year.
I'll take one in silver. No, blue.
Hurry to Toyota's summer tent event and save.
Money, money, money. A lot of money.
On now at your Toyota dealer.
From the Northeast to the Deep South, gun salutes rang out across the country in honor of President Ronald Reagan. Tonight, the president was laid to rest during a sunset ceremony in California. We have breaking news right now. Indianapolis police are investigating a deadly crash at this hour. Officers are at Emerson and Prospect, where a person believed to be an elderly man was struck and killed on the southeast side. Police say 2 cars may have struck the victim and then left the scene. They found one. They're still looking for a white Chevy Beretta, we're told by police. This happened a little over an hour ago. So far, police think this was accidental. And an accident on southbound I-65 near the Clinton-Boone County line tied up traffic for hours tonight. A truck driver told police that he looked down at the radio. When he looked up, lost control of his rig and crashed into a disabled car on the side of the road. The truck driver suffered minor injuries. Nobody else was hurt, mainly because no one was inside that car.
I mean, it would have been a catastrophe if there would have been somebody in this car. By all means, there would have been a fatality.
Yeah. And that truck was transporting around 40,000 pounds of perishable food items from Chicago to Columbus, Ohio.
Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory's forecast has the seal of approval of the American Meteorological Society.
First, a wildfire burning through eastern Arizona now threatens a small town. High winds and dry weather fueling this fire now covers more than 6,000 acres of national forest land. This fire has been burning for at least 4 days now. It is just 10% contained. So they've got the dry weather there, and we've got plenty of wet weather.
Saturated ground, and it may be a big problem over the weekend. Tippecanoe County, Howard counties, Hamilton County, as we've seen from Jennifer Carmack. So if we add anything to this, it just aggravates the situation. Map shows you where the Wabash River is flooding already from Lafayette down to Terre Haute, and the Wildcat Creek from Kokomo to Lafayette. Even talked to the Weather Service where some cattle might have been swept away in some of the flooding there in Tippecanoe County. That's something to watch because more rain is on the way. Not here yet. We're dry in central Indiana. Showers, thunderstorms developing over north-central portions of Illinois. The direction of these thunderstorms is to the north and east. There is a new tornado watch that includes most of north-central Illinois. Does not include Indiana. 1 to 2 inch rainfall potential overnight and into the morning hours tomorrow. You know how humid it was, just so sticky today. That's the moisture that could be ringing out in these showers and thunderstorms. They're the evening thunderstorms around. You can see what's developing over Illinois and moving toward the north, so toward Chicago. It's where the stronger storms are now. Heat is everywhere. It's 81 in Terre Haute. It's 81 right now, 75 for Indianapolis. It's been cooler all day long from Peru to Muncie. Temperatures were probably 20 degrees cooler here in the mid-70s, and then temperatures in the low 90s in portions of southwest Indiana earlier in the day. For Indy, it was 89. Third day we've hit 89 this month without touching 90 degrees. At 87/100ths of an inch came in after midnight in the showers and thunderstorms. This is a focusing mechanism now for showers and thunderstorms from around Lafayette into north central Illinois. The warm front is sitting there and generating showers and thunderstorms. These individual storms will move to the north, but I think during the day tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms will move into central portions of the state and actually maybe overnight. As far as a slight risk category for severe storms, that would include north central portions of the state. There are no watches out now. The watch goes until 4 o'clock in the morning for portions of Illinois. You'll see the red box in a second. Just some isolated thunderstorms here. This is the latest tornado watch. You can see that comes up to the border with Indiana. Stronger thunderstorms just south of Chicago, headed toward the Lake Michigan. Focus of thunderstorms, this really doesn't change not only tomorrow and Sunday, but really into early next week. On Sunday, as this cold front comes, severe weather may again be a possibility late Sunday into Monday. For tonight, showers and thunderstorms, some heavy rain possible, as much as an additional 2 inches of rain to the north. And as we get into tomorrow, very sticky again, 85 for the high. Thunderstorms most likely in the morning hours. If you look at the 6-day forecast, because that front, or the dividing line between the warm, sticky air and somewhat milder air, stays in the area, we'll still have showers and thunderstorms possible as we get into early next week. But notice highs back into the 70s by the middle of next week.
That's the bright spot you were talking about.
Yeah, lower humidity.
All right.
Have a good weekend.
All right, you too. Well, sharp teeth, long bones, and a huge roar. Those are some of the things seen and heard at the Children's Museum today at the Dinosphere opening. The $25 million exhibit is one of a kind. Reconstructed dino bones are the main attraction. The sheer size of the skeletal structure is really breathtaking. The exhibit has hands-on opportunities for kids. They can wear dinosaur gear, even witness part of the dinosaur reproductive process by sitting on those dinosaur eggs. Well, summertime in Indy means an influx of cultural festivals. We are flooded with them here, and one of the most popular is already happening now. The annual Italian Street Fest runs tonight and tomorrow at the Holy Rosary Church on Stevens Avenue. Or street, rather. I think it just wrapped up minutes ago. Parishioners serve up heaping piles of fresh-made Italian dishes. The food is already packed up for tonight. The festival resumes tomorrow, though, at 5 p.m.
All right, next in sports, what's so secretive these days about your Indiana Pacers? Coming up next, we'll tell you what they don't want you to know. And you won't believe what the Center Grove pitcher did in one of the biggest games of her career. All of that when the Nightcast continues.
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Monday night at 7 on RTV6.
There's only one name that boasts the brute strength of 600 foot-pounds of class-dominating torque. One brand, the fastest production pickup on Earth with a 500 horsepower engine. One truck with the legendary Hemi that outhauls, out-tows, and outperforms the competition. Dodge Ram, the one truck with the speed, strength, and power to put all the other trucks in their place. Qualified buyers who finance through Chrysler Financial get an additional $1,000 for a total combined cash allowance of $4,500 on Ram 1500.
The Styles of Summer Sale now at Sofa Express. Take an extra 10% off our already low sale prices. That's an extra 10% off over 100 sofa styles. Only Sofa Express can deliver them all the very next day. And there's 10% off thousands of custom order options. Only Sofa Express can deliver them in 30 days or less. Save an extra 10% off sale prices store-wide. The Styles of Summer Sale now through June 21st at Sofa Express. Here today, home tomorrow.
Local news online all the time at theindychannel.com. We're there for you.
The tornado caused severe damage to our dealership and most of our inventory. The insurance companies have already settled. The repairs are underway. So through Saturday at Tom Wood Pontiac GMC, all vehicles will be sacrificed at a fraction of their value. Every slightly damaged new 2004 Pontiac up to $13,442 off. Every slightly damaged new 2004 GMC up to $15,925 off. Buy with 0% 60-month financing. All vehicles first come, first served through Saturday at Tom Wood Pontiac GMC. On the east side, just off 465 in East Washington.
Mommy, I'm hungry.
Alarm clocks. They deserve a good meal. Like the wide variety of omelets and eggs at Golden Corral, all made to order. Plus grilled ham and smoked sausages and much more, all on the breakfast buffet. Golden Corral. Everyone deserves a good meal. Right now at Golden Corral, there's a steak with your name on it, over an inch thick. Hand cut daily. Fresh, never frozen. Aged for tenderness. Every night on the dinner buffet. Golden Corral. Everyone deserves a good meal.
The news on RTV6 is sponsored in part by Golden Corral.
Good evening. When it comes to the NBA, few things are secretive in the league. However, when it comes to the blue and gold and the number of Pacers that they have protected for the upcoming expansion draft, that will be a secret for your Indiana Pacers. The Charlotte Bobcat draft comes up later this month, June 22nd. Pacers are not saying who's protected and who is not. Meanwhile, the Fever took on the New York Liberty tonight from Madison Square Garden. New York kept it close throughout, but Tamika Catchings scored 4 points in the final 14 seconds of the game as the Fever win at 72-68. That snaps the Liberty's 6-game winning streak. Tamika had 17. Deanna Jackson, Kelly Miller, each with 13. Meanwhile, the NBA Finals continue. Game 4, though, doesn't come up until Sunday. That gives the Pistons a few more days to enjoy their 2-1 series lead. And today, guess who they were thanking for their somewhat surprising advantage? Among others, the Pacers.
Milwaukee, when we won the first game, lost the second one. Same thing with New Jersey. We won the first 2, and same thing with Indiana. And I think them situations makes us a lot better team in this situation in the finals because we're a lot mentally tougher, and we know what.
Already on edge, obviously.
One last tidbit from last night. The police are looking into this incident before the game when Karl Malone poked a fan in the face. Malone said the day that the fan had been drinking when he heckled him and then spit on him. The fan hopes this tape is all the police need to prosecute the mailman. Game 4 is Sunday night from the Palace of Auburn Hills. You can see it live beginning at 7:30 right here in RTV6 at ABC, followed by the Nightcast. Ray, don't poke me. In baseball, the Tribe beat Charlotte 2-1 to start their 12-game road trip. It also ends the Tribe's 4-game losing streak. The girls' semi-finals, state finals. This is in Class 4A. Center Grove taking on Martinsville. CG's in white, bottom of the 4th. Mallory Hensley. 2-run score there. Trojans take a 2-0 lead. And then Darcy Wood, a former Papa John's Pizza RTV6 Star of the Week winner, throws a no-hitter tonight. Struck out 18. CG advances 2-0. They'll play Lake Central in the 4A title game tomorrow. New Pal advances in 3A. Lutheran in 1A. Just try hitting that thing. Just try. The U.S. Olympic diving trials continue in St. Peters, Missouri. Fisher's Philip Jones came up short in his bid to head to the Olympics in the 3-meter springboard. He finished 3rd in tonight's finals. Indy's Thomas Fincham, though, will still have his shot later this weekend. NASCAR at the Pocono Raceway for this weekend's Sunday Pocono 500. Casey Kane, the 24-year-old rookie who gained a lot of experience driving on the short tracks around Central Indiana, took his 4th pole of the season today. Jeff Gordon will start 6th, Tony Stewart 8th, Ryan Newman 11th, Dale Jr. 16th. We're a week away from the U.S. Grand Prix, but this weekend F1 is in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. Here's the combined quick 6 from today's 2 practices, and the no one surprise 6-time world driving champion Michael Schumacher is the quickest. They qualify tomorrow. Hard to believe that these guys will be here exactly a week from Sunday.
Coming right back. Hope you will too.
No poking.
The news on RTV6 is brought to you by the Hoosier Lottery.
I think I'll go for a walk outside now. The summer sun's calling my name. I just can't stay inside all day. I gotta get out and get me some of those rays. Everybody's smiling. Everybody's laughing. Everybody seems so happy today. It's a sunshine day.
Dream a little bigger with $500,000 Money Mania, the new big money scratch-off with over $37 million in prizes.
It's a sunshine day.
Do you know where I work? I work for a company dedicated to helping millions of people get the money they need.
I work for someone who's going to be around tomorrow.
I work for a company that people count on. Where do I work? Advance America Cash Advance. We're America's leading payday advance service with over 2,000 locations nationwide. And if you think all payday advance companies are the same, you don't know us. Advance America, money you can count on.
good food. Just one more thing to love about Outback, where you can enjoy our crispy coconut shrimp and our royal pork catch. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
I'm Mary Lou Retton. In 1984, I won an Olympic gold medal when the judges gave my vault a 10. It was a perfect score, but I'm not a perfect person. I do know someone who is, though, and I've committed my life to him. His name is Jesus Christ. Do you know him? The world's only perfect 10.
For a free gift, call 1-800-JESUS-2004.
I'm Kevin Kahlo, and I know you want the largest discount you can get on your new Jeep. That's why you need Indiana's largest Jeep dealer. Kahlo's been the #1 Jeep dealer for over 10 years, with the largest selection of Jeeps you'll find anywhere in the state. In fact, Kahlo Jeep has over $6 million worth of new Jeeps, used cars, trucks, and vans. Okay, Kahlo is the largest dealer with the largest trade allowances, with the largest selection, and the largest discount. So why not live large? Come out and say hello, Kahlo.
So watch out for more floodwaters.
Yeah, showers, thunderstorms return. It's been dry most of the day after our morning rain, but the potential there for 1 to 2 inches of additional rain as we head into tomorrow. Thought I'd give you a big picture here. Showers, thunderstorms, especially first half of tomorrow, and then later in the weekend, cold front will focus thunderstorm once again. Those may be strong. 85 Sunday, lower 80s as we get into early next week.
All right, and that is the news for this work week and for this Friday night. Thanks for being with us. Have a great weekend.